Hello, I'm Lisa Bohm. I'm the Associate Director for ESEA. I am going to provide you with a brief overview of where the new Educator Effectiveness Initiative originated and its connection to ESEA. ESEA stands for Elementary and Secondary Education Act. The ESEA was established in 1965, and its fundamental principle is providing educational opportunities to our most disadvantaged youth. DPI supports and complies with the basic principles of ESEA, which are accountability, teacher quality, and research-based education. ESEA was reauthorized in 2001 under the No Child Left Behind Act. School districts across the country found NCLB to be too prescriptive, with a heavy focus on punishment rather than supporting improvement. As a result, the U.S. Department of Education offered states the opportunity to waive certain ESEA NCLB provisions. That's where educator effectiveness comes in. Wisconsin's NCLB waiver of 2012 and Wisconsin Act 166 have specific requirements around educator effectiveness. Wisconsin Act 166 is what prompted the changes to educator effectiveness. Act 166, which was legislated in 2011, requires DPI to develop an educator evaluation system. It further requires that 50% of the total evaluation score must be based on standards of professional practice, and the other 50% on measures of student performance. Teachers must be evaluated with reference to the four domains, which are planning and preparation, classroom environment, instruction, and professional responsibilities and development. Act 166 also says that implementation of the evaluation system must begin in the 2014-2015 school year. Act 166 is sometimes confused with Act 10, which is the Wisconsin budget repair bill that impacted collective bargaining and benefits. Act 10 was enacted prior to Act 166 and is not a part of the legislation on educator effectiveness. When the ESEA waiver was written, it had to comply with Act 166. In other words, while the NCLB ESEA waiver did not prompt the new educator effectiveness system, the waiver must be aligned with the requirements of Act 166. The ESEA waiver has three main principles, which are college and career-ready expectations, a system of accountability, and educator effectiveness. The primary purpose of the educator effectiveness system is to support a system of continuous improvement of educator practice that leads to improved student learning. So, what's in the waiver? Here are the highlights. Evaluations for both principals and teachers will include multiple measures. 50% of an evaluation will be based on educator practice, and the other 50% will be based on student outcomes. The educator practice portion of the evaluation will be based on Danielson's framework for teaching. Multiple observations are required during summative evaluations. Certified professional staff who have assignments outside of the classroom or who work with special populations will also be evaluated using the Danielson framework. However, adaptations will be made to the framework. Principals will be evaluated using rubrics based on the 2008 ISLIC standards. The other 50% of an evaluation will be based on student outcomes. Measures used and the weight of the measures will vary based on the availability of measures. Some examples of measures are district-adopted standardized assessment results, statewide standardized assessments, student learning outcomes or SLOs, and high school graduation rates. The evaluation system will include formative and summative elements linked to the educator's professional development plan. Individual educator ratings are confidential and will not be publicly reported. The system will be piloted 2012 through 2014 and then fully implemented in the state by the 2014-2015 school year. This was a summary of what is in the ESEA NCLB waiver relative to educator effectiveness. The full document can be found on the DPI website at www.dpi.state.wi.us. Pages 120 through 139 of the waiver apply specifically to educator effectiveness. I hope you have a better understanding of how the new educator effectiveness system was originated and its connection to the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. Thank you for listening.